What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 15 of the I-70 Hot Tag. We've got a fantastic guest tonight. He's aligned himself with the Monarch Jeremy Wyatt and Jay Buns, Justin Fowler, and Journey Pro, and are now known as The Reckoning. We just saw him last week in Warsaw, Missouri for New Breed Wrestling, and he's the current Mid-States Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. Our guest tonight, the Smoking Ace, Luke Langley. Plus, we're going to break down a New Breed Wrestling show that went down on July 16th. And last, but certainly not least, guys, we have two big announcements tonight. Don't go anywhere.
This is Ryan the Infinite Gingell.
This is Mighty Micah.
This is Luigi Primo. WLW World Heavyweight Champion Derek Stone. And you are watching the I-70 Hot Tag.
And now, CR Media presents the I-70 Hot Tag with your host, Chaos Chase, and the real Josh Elliott.
That time I fixed it. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chase, aka CR Media. We're welcoming you to the 15th edition of the I-70 Hot Tag, where we're breaking down Kansas and Missouri independent professional wrestling. To my left or to my right on your screen is going to be my tag team partner, Josh, the real Josh Elliott. Josh, how you doing tonight, sir?
Fantastic, man. How you doing?
I am doing great as well. Got a killer show for you guys tonight. Like we talked about in the intro, we've got Luke Langley here tonight. We've got some announcements, some huge announcements, which is kind of weird. It's kind of becoming a staple here on the I-70 Hot Tag.
Yep.
We've had quite a few big announcements these past couple weeks. So, guys, we're live on Twitch on CR Media 1988. You know it's the journey, the path to affiliate. Got to get my average viewers up, guys. So I appreciate you guys coming in. Mama Gababaro, excuse me if I didn't pronounce that right, and Emma Gababaro. Appreciate you guys joining in. We're also live on YouTube, Facebook, and the I-70 or at the I-70 Hot Tag. So please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never ever miss anything from the I-70 Hot Tag. Do it as well on CR Media. We are running away here. So the social medias, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, you can all find right here at that tag. I'm going to get this right one of these days. Right there at CR Media 1988. Josh, tell everybody where they can find you on social media, my friend.
Absolutely. You can follow me at the real Josh Elliott. The social medias I'm on is Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. But if you want the wrestling content, the I-70, Kansas, and Missouri content, I run the I-70 Hot Tag social media accounts. Go follow us. We're at Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And as Chase said, we are live on both our Facebook and YouTube pages. So
yes, absolutely. Want to give a shout out to last week's guests. Half of one of the best tag teams in the Midwest. Part of the tribe. Our guy Hoodie Howlett. If you missed last week's episode and didn't get to hear, all the things we talked about with Hoodie, we talked about his beginnings in Denver with Rocky Mountain Pro. We talked about the wrestling school. We talked about him running through NWL, Journey Pro, and now CSW. If you missed it, check out the podcast version. You're going to find it on Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify. We announced last week that we're going to be releasing more content. So, guys, stay tuned. We're going to reveal plans right after our interview with our guest tonight. We also have a surprise guest to announce for our August 4th episode. So that's going to be huge. That's definitely going to stay on to that. But speaking of huge, let's Josh, would you like to introduce our guest tonight?
Absolutely. Let's bring on the current Mid-States Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, the Smoking Ace, Luke Langley.
Luke, how are you tonight?
Good, gentlemen. Good to be here with both of you.
Awesome. Well, Luke, we kind of spoke a little bit prior to the show. We appreciate you taking your time to come on here, help us, promote what you got going on, and help also promote the companies that you're going to be working with here in Kansas and Missouri. So,
for sure.
All right. Well, Luke, I always kind of like to start off these things. Obviously Luke Langley is somebody that you have created. So tell our viewers, who is Luke Langley?
Luke Langley is the most guaranteed guarantee in professional wrestling. I travel the Midwest getting the job done for my employer, Black Diamond Industries, and I'm really willing to go to any means necessary to accomplish that.
Fantastic. And Luke, if you don't mind me asking, how did you break into the wrestling business?
I guess I could start at the beginning. I was a fan as a kid growing up in the Attitude Era naturally. Kind of fell out of it in like late middle school. Focused more on like, football and stuff like that. And then like around 2005 when I was a senior in high school, fell back into it just because uh it was actually because of a video game, WWE Day of Reckoning on the GameCube, and I they had the Great Creator Wrestler mode there, and it had all these cool Japanese moves in it, but I didn't know who did them. So I went to YouTube, and I was like, "Oh, that's who Kento Kobashi is." And I discovered indie wrestling because this is like early peak Ring of Honor and the beginning of PWG and stuff. And I remember the TNA Unbreakable triple threat with AJ and Daniels and Samoa Joe, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is what wrestling is now." I enjoyed WWE again too. Like actually, the first Raw I watched happened to be the one right after the Mania where Batista and Cena both won the belts. So that was like kind of my re-entry into WWE as well. So I kind of like I was like a closet wrestling fan. It wasn't cool at the time really, but me and this other dude who I worked at Dairy Queen with, he was also. We just discovered that we were both closet wrestling fans. So after we closed the store, we would go out behind the building and we'd have like these like little matches. And eventually, the owner was like, "Hey, if you guys are gonna do that shit, go over there because you're tearing up the grass in this one spot." Um, but yeah, I followed it through college, just kind of on the down low. Always kind of having in the back of my mind that like maybe it'd be something I could try. But then it wasn't until after I graduated, I came back to Kansas City, and I went to a Metro Pro Wrestling show, and I was like, I've got to figure out a way to do this, just because I was really captivated by the energy. Um, and yeah, I mean, my dad happened to meet a dude at the gym. His name was Tribal Warrior Angel Skycall. Um, I went to a show in Topeka so I could meet him, and he gave me his card and was like, "Come to the next show in a month, and you can help set up the ring, and I can show you some stuff." And I learned how to bump there, and wound up riding in the car with him to a show, and like I wound up just being a referee, randomly, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Um, but then I kind of realized quickly I needed to do this more than once a month to get my fix. And it's really weird when you're going, and this is 2011, and you're like Googling wrestling schools, and most of the listings are like way out of date because they're just leftover listings from when wrestling was really hot in the early 2000s,
Yeah.
And I knew there was Harley School, but I'm like, well, that's pretty far away, and I don't want to drop that kind of money. And there just happened to be a guy. He wrestled as the Good Reverend Chad Sullivan. He's out of Bucyrus, Kansas, just down 69 Highway. And his main gig is that he builds rings and MMA cages. They're outstanding quality, but in the evenings, he was still training a couple guys like on Wednesdays and Mondays and Wednesdays. Um, so I called him and he was like, "Yeah, come on out and do the tryout. The tryout's free." And I already kind of knew how to bump already, so that wasn't any big deal. So yeah, broke in there and just started training, a couple nights a week, and then eventually we started doing 4 hours on Sundays too because my good friend Graham Bell joined us quickly, and he was coming up from Springfield, Missouri, so we trained for like a double session on Sunday so that he could get the full experience. Also notable person that was there was I will forever just know him as Chris Wyko. You might know him as Chris Dangerfield or Chris Estelle, but he recently got a full-time gig making gear for AEW, so he was right there at the beginning of the journey as well.
Nice.
That was a
Nice.
long answer to a short question.
No, that was perfect. Luke, one of the things that we really love about doing this show is hearing those stories and hearing how, I mean, there's hundreds of miles between us, as far as like the Midwest goes. But as far as like the wrestling community with trainers, workers, the boys, like everything, it's interesting to hear how close knit it is. So
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Did you so you said you were training, did you have one specific trainer, or was it just kind of a group of trainers that you trained with?
So Chad Sullivan was I credit him as like my first trainer. I would say that, he's ultimately he's not really ever made a name for himself as a performer, and I think he'd be the first to admit that. I will say this, when people ask me about my training, we didn't learn anything that was wrong. Like there was no like fundamentals that needed to be like corrected or anything like that later down the line. It was just kind of incomplete. Like we didn't learn anything about here's how you should go about trying to get yourself booked, or here's how you actually establish a character or structure a match. The most he could tell us is like, yeah, don't forget to work the crowd, which, that doesn't mean anything, until you kind of know who you are. But mechanically everything was sound. And we were never put in any physical danger. Everything was safe. And we were never taken advantage of for money or anything like that. And we were never told you can't go work these other places or anything like that. So I got nothing but nice things to say about Chad. In terms of like, bigger influences, I think really I started to put it together as a performer in like 2016 when Derek McQuinn and Trevor Murdoch had a school here in Kansas. They were only open for that one summer, but I would go up there, 2 or 3 times a week and work out with Murdoch. And that's also where I got tight with Mike Seidel. And I actually met Mike and Mark Sterling and Jeremy Wyatt really early on, like right at the beginning of my training with Chad. But this was when I actually like became friends with Mike, and that's when I feel like I really started to like learn how to like call things in the ring and communicate things, step by step, and really like started to like find out who I was as a wrestler instead of just like going out there and trying moves that I wanted to do and stuff. And then later, I would have to give some credit, to like Derek Stone during the NWL period when they had their school. I would, regularly go up there and polish, what I learned the summer before.
Right. Yeah. So we've seen you wrestle, quite a bit around our area here in Kansas City. But we've seen you also a couple times wrestle in AEW. You were in just recently. You were in that 20 on 1 battle royal.
Yes, I was the third from the last power bomb. Wrestling is probably giving it a little too much credit, but yes,
Right.
I was in a wrestling ring, certainly.
Yeah. Well, you also what was it? In 2021, you wrestled Jake Hager and Sammy Guevara.
Yes, I teamed with Cody Lang on Dart. Yep.
Yeah. So what was it like wrestling on Dark back then and being on a national stage like that?
Oh, it was very cool. Obviously, Sammy and Jake were really cool to put it together with. Very laid back. When it's 2 minute and 40 some odd second match, so there's not a whole lot you got to remember, but it's a little nerve wracking, like when you're in front of that that amount of people. I think about 5,000 people or so there in St. Louis. I remember like when I was running the ropes initially, I was like, it's kind of harder to see them because the seats are so much further back and it's like kind of black on black there. But, obviously everything was fine. But yeah, super welcoming environment. I've done extra work for WWE several times as well. And, both, great catering experiences, but you could definitely tell that the environment at AEW was very laid back. I'm sure, behind closed doors, like there's, people who have gripes in every company, but it wasn't like that feeling of like, oh, we can't stand here because we'll be in somebody's way, or, we can't speak too loudly or don't be noticed. It was very, very welcoming environment. It also helps that I know like guys who work for AEW now, like like Fuego del Sol and Ricky Starks from back when we were more regular down in Texas and stuff.
Nice.
Fantastic. I wanted to stop here for a second. There is a Dean Houston in here. Dean, we appreciate you coming and joining in. Dean comes in. Dean comes in every week, doesn't he, Josh?
Yeah, he's been there for a few weeks. Yeah, for sure.
So Dean asked or said he said watched you in Warsaw last week. Great match. You mind telling us who you fought in Warsaw last week?
Yeah, I got to wrestle a young kid. I believe it was Austin Mulatato. Mulatato. Hang on. I'm gonna butcher. I want to get it right because I want to give him credit. He was good.
I think it was Austin Mulatalo.
Mulatalo, excuse me. So yeah, really talented young kid. I think it was only his like 15th professional match, but he's Harley race trained, so his fundamentals and his timing were going to be there. Yeah, he really fun young opponent, and he probably gave me a little bit more of a fight than I was expecting, but old Asian cunning will always overcome youth and skill, and I got to drop him with a brainbuster.
One of our viewers mentioned, plus the worldwide audience, when you were talking about your your tenure in AEW, like the little
tenure.
your work in AEW.
Sure.
Yes, the worldwide audience it's a huge that's part of the huge reason of going to do those things. So Pro Wrestling Kingpin wants to know if you could have a dream match with someone, who would it be and why?
I mean, the first thing that comes to my head would be like Bryan Danielson. He's just a dude who, gets how wrestling works, how it's presented as a, athletic contest, but he also understands how to connect emotionally within that without ever feeling like he's like not being anybody other than himself. I think he's, the best all around professional wrestler that I would say I've ever seen. I mean, if we're doing like a time machine dream match, then like I would want to wrestle Stone Cold Steve Austin because he's the greatest wrestler of all time. Period. So
yeah. Well, you're definitely not gonna get much of an argument on my end on either one of those choices. Dean mentioned that his daughter is Shylin. Okay. Appreciate you coming through, James. Yep, got cleaned up yesterday for my video I did. So, Luke, I wanted to ask you, next Saturday at Journey Pro on Raytona Beach, Beach Bash. Sorry, you're going to be teaming up with Jeremy Wyatt to take on the Work Horsemen.
Indeed.
Talk to us about that.
Well, I mean, I'm very excited to wrestle a couple of great wrestlers, which that just makes sense because me and Jeremy Wyatt are pretty fucking great wrestlers ourselves. So it should be a great match, and I look forward to continuing to demonstrate to the Journey Pro audience exactly what I'm capable of.
So I'm going to go off script here a little bit. Sorry, Josh. I wanted to ask what. There's not a whole lot of appealing things about Jeremy Wyatt. I mean, he's. There's just not a whole. So if you don't mind me asking, what draws Luke Langley? Like what makes Luke Langley say, "Hey, I wanna hang out with that guy"?
So it's not about, this isn't show friends, it's show business. Okay. I would strongly disagree that there's nothing appealing about Jeremy Wyatt, because I think Jeremy Wyatt has been the best wrestler in this entire area for, a decade now. And to me, I think that's pretty damn appealing. Doesn't matter what company it is or what spot on the card he's in. You walk away from the show thinking, that guy knows what the hell he's doing between those ropes. Let me go back to the beginning of my story. That Metro Pro Wrestling show in 2011 that made me say, I want to do this. Jeremy Wyatt was in the opening tag match. He was teaming with Ricky Kwong or something like that. It doesn't matter. But it was a great night of wrestling. And as I was driving home in the car with my dad, I remember, us both thinking, out of all the matches that we watched, and it was a great show. It had Trevor Murdoch versus Derek Stone and a Falls Count Anywhere match as the main event. But we both knew as we were driving home, I think that Jeremy Wyatt guy might have been the best wrestler we saw tonight. And that was 2011. And he's only gotten better, in the decade plus since. As for me, for why I want to personally throw in with him, Jeremy's a great wrestler. I'd like to think that I'm a pretty damn good wrestler too. The problem is that to get people to notice me, I had to put a dot on my forehead and say namaste, which, I had a lot of fun doing that with Mike. It got me, a foot in the door. But then with Mike, being injured and on the shelf, and I'm still trying to carry this on, and I'm having great matches. I'm tearing it down with Cody Lane, Everett Connors, Davey Vega. And still, I'm just kind of lost in the shuffle because that great match that I had with Everett Connors last December, I was a replacement for JJ Garrett. They forgot to book me on that show. And then after I have that great match and I beat Everett Connors, a couple months later, I find myself, leading a random, 6-man tag team, in the middle of the card. There's nobody at Journey Pro that I can't beat. There's nobody at Journey Pro that I can't out wrestle. I'm a goddamn killing machine, and I'm not going to be ignored anymore. At a certain point, if I let that continue to happen, that's nobody's fault but mine.
I like it.
Yep.
That answer the question?
Absolutely, sir.
Absolutely. So, later
I cuss on here. Is that okay? I'm assuming it's
good.
okay if I cuss.
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's all good. A week later, August 6th, you mentioned you're going to be wrestling down in Oklahoma against Josh Woods. What company is that going to be for? And kind of tell us about that match.
That's another exciting matchup I have coming up. So it's a good run here of me being in the ring with some great wrestlers, which is exciting because I get to showcase what I can do against elite competition. So that's going to be for Wrestling for a Cause. This show is going to be in Pryor, Oklahoma. It's called Extrava Slamza, and it's kind of being put on in conjunction with an organization that works with like James Storm to benefit veterans. Wrestling for a Cause is a nonprofit. All of their profits are donated to fight childhood cancer, oftentimes to raise money for a specific child and their family. I'm currently their heavyweight champion, and I will be defending my belt against Josh the Goods Woods on August 6th there in Pryor.
That's awesome. Good deal. We got another question here from the chat here from Raz. Scott, if you could wrestle in another country, what country would it be?
Japan.
Japan?
Yeah, I think that'd be probably the pretty clear first choice.
So would you, just throwing this out there, would you consider, the reason I'm going to ask this is Raz is from here, would you consider wrestling in Australia?
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, one of our viewers who is very he count on him to be here every week. He's a very loyal viewer. He loves this I-70 hot tag thing we're doing. He's from Australia, so
yeah. No, I would love to go to Australia, not just to to visit and take it in, but I might get to kick Shaza in the face again while I'm there. So that'd be cool.
There you go. You're taking on Mike Outlaw at CSW Horseman Country.
Yep, August 27th. That's going to be a really a really exciting match for me. I've wrestled a couple times for Central States, both times as like last minute replacements. The first time I got to wrestle the immortal Jamie Holly, but most recently got to step up and on short notice and challenge Dak Draper, um, who's obviously a tremendous talent. So it'll be nice to kind of like actually get in the mix there formally and really establish myself, especially against someone who's as talented as Mike Outlaw is. I've known Mike for several years, and even when he was relatively new in the business, you could see that he just has a natural connection with the audience as well as just a natural presence to himself in the ring. So I expect nothing less than a tremendous match, and I expect me to win handily, obviously.
So I wanted to bring this up too. You recently tweeted that you went through a city known as Tightwad, Missouri, population 69.
Yes, that was on the way to Warsaw for New Breed this past Saturday, which I'm sure honestly I'd wrestled in that building in Warsaw before, so I'd probably pass through it. I just hadn't noticed it, but I was like, man, you can't write this stuff, if you were in the comedy room or something, writing that, they'd probably say, oh, it's too on the nose, right?
Right. What can you, was that the first time you wrestled for New Breed, or what can you tell us about New Breed wrestling?
No. I've wrestled for New Breed off and on the past couple of years. I think my first match there might have been 2017. I wrestled the Mathemagician. And in a actually pretty entertaining match. But no, I drop in there every now and again. Probably my up until this past match with Austin, I think my most notable experience there was when I was defending my Duluth Extreme Renegade Pro United States Championship, which is a company that's long defunct, but I was carrying on the honor of the belt, and unfortunately dropped it in a triple threat match to Cameron Burnett. So now it's the New Breed United States Championship, but at least the belt still was on in some capacity. But that was not probably not the greatest addition to my resume, but it was certainly a memorable and fun night.
We've got a question in the chat from Sunny Money Mio.
Oh, I know Sunny.
Yeah, from the Wrestle Talk podcast. He wants to know, will we ever see a brain buster from the top rope?
I mean, never say never, but people don't kick out of my normal brain buster, so I don't really see why I would need to do it.
There you go. So, Luke, our last two guests on this show have been Hoodie Howlett, and then prior to that would be Mighty Micah. You're aligning yourself with Wyatt and Fowler as the Reckoning. There was a name that Hoodie gave you last week on the show. Your group of guys. He called you Jeremy Wyatt and his bitch brigade. You got any replies to that, or
Jeremy Wyatt and his bitch brigade? I mean, that's it's not the most creative thing in the world, but I guess it gets his point across, right? Yeah, no. Jeremy Wyatt's not the leader of anything. Like, I made this choice. It was my decision to super kick Walter in his face, and Jeremy happened to be a beneficiary of that. And you know what? Two great wrestlers, can watch each other's backs. That I don't think there's anything wrong with that. In terms of the Howletts, though, like, they're out here, talking about heel shit. They're talking about it, and me and Jeremy Wyatt are being about it. So, and I'm sure we'll get a chance to show them that personally. Oh, wait, we already did. How's the knee doing, Hoodie?
It's funny. It's funny you say that, Langley, because Fowler said the exact same thing to me on Twitter. So you guys are going to be at Raytona Beach next week. So, I don't know. I know Micah will be there, but I don't know what the Howletts have planned.
Micah's going to be there getting his ass kicked by Jay Fowler. that's about the only thing we need to know about Micah.
Well, tickets are still available, guys. Raytona Beach. It's going to be outside. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you guys have not gotten your tickets to Raytona Beach yet, I highly recommend doing so. Most of the time, Journey Pro, their events is bring your own chair. So definitely, if you've got one of those zero gravity chairs for yourself or for me, bring an extra one. We will definitely be hanging out um, and doing all that good stuff. Scott in our chat wants to know who has been the most fun to be in the ring with.
Man, that's a really good question, actually. Um, you know, I think I've had so many fun matches with a bunch of different people. I think I'm going to give you guys a answer. You guys might probably don't know this guy. He's a regional guy from Oklahoma. He wrestles as Double D. And me and him, starting in like 2017 and over the next couple of years, we wrestled each other in like every promotion in Oklahoma, like I think 9 total singles matches. And we actually recently did it again back in January in Tulsa. And like he's just a dude where it's always easy. Like he knows exactly what you're talking about when you try to communicate something. He's always where you need him to be. His stuff, looks good. It's just I've never had a bad match wrestling him. It's always been fun. It's always been safe. I wouldn't say like I've had like my absolute best matches with him, although I've had some really awesome matches with him. Like, but he's like my comfort food. Like I can always go back to him and he's like, it always, it always just hits the spot. It's exactly what I was looking for. So even though it might not be like, the filet mignon from like the super premier steakhouse, like it's like, this is like my favorite hamburger place or something like
Yeah,
that. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm
absolutely,
belaboring this
absolutely.
analogy.
No. It's a perfect analogy. He's not, a filet mignon is something you have on special occasions or once every blue moon. You don't have filet mignon all the time, but that comfort food that you're talking about, whether it's a cheeseburger or whatever, you can, you can go back to it. That's what you're most comfortable ordering. That's the one. You don't even have to look at the menu. So I
Mhm.
kind of jacked that analogy all up for you as
No,
well.
no, no. It's the same point. I got you.
So
um,
we're gonna pull from the chat again. We got one from Raz. What do you want your legacy to be once you finish up wrestling?
Um, right now, honestly, like, at my Asian experience level, I'm kind of trying to be uh the wrestler that I would have liked to have met when I was green. Like I want to be the guy who, when green kids are breaking in and like, their first year, their first couple of matches, they can get in the ring with me and feel like, wow, I learned a lot when I wrestled Luke Langley. Um, like hopefully, this match that I had with Austin just this past weekend is like a good example of that. Like someone with a lot of talent who only has a couple like matches in front of a live crowd, but I can put stuff together with them and I can like show them this is how I communicate stuff in the ring and this is how I think about things when I'm structuring matches. Like, because for me and Graham, my old tag partner who I broke in with, like we didn't have really any mentors. Like we just had to go out and get booked at anywhere that would have us and just have matches and just any reps are going to be helpful when you're brand new, but like we went to a lot of places that like there weren't really any good vets to like teach you the right way to do things, so we just kind of had to go and suck for a couple of years. And I don't think I started like really putting it together as a wrestler, like I mentioned, until I got to train regularly with Trevor Murdoch and then Mike Seidel, guys who could actually teach me how to structure things and communicate, and just you only get better when you wrestle people who are better than you. And I wish that I would have gotten to be around those positive influences, earlier on. I told the guys who started training at like the NWL school how lucky they were to get to be around so many super talented wrestlers when they were really early in their development. And I'd like to, think that I can be, that kind of influence for the new guys getting into wrestling now, like the guys you've seen come up in the last couple of years. So, because honestly, I don't know if, at this point, like I don't think anyone can have an expectation in a business like this that this will ever be like our full-time, job, or set us up with generational wealth or anything like that, but uh, I think I can leave, the business a little bit better than I found it in terms of, my influence on guys as they try to improve and get better. So another long answer to a short question.
No, it's great. Sonny, we're gonna let Sonny cheat because we like Sonny.
I like Sonny too. It's cool.
He's got two questions. So the first one is go-to song during karaoke. He could see you doing a mean rendition of "Careless Whisper."
Okay. Well, I appreciate the sentiment. But I would say 18 in Life by Skid Row.
I love it. That's awesome. So his Sonny's second question, he says, serious question, wrestling in front of the Kansas City crowd and the St. Louis crowd. What's the difference, if there's any? Do you prefer one over the other?
I haven't wrestled in St. Louis a tremendous amount. Like I've wrestled for St. Louis Anarchy several times in tag team matches with Graham. Um, Honestly, though, it kind of it's not necessarily a clear divide between St. Louis and Kansas City, because if you look at like a Central States crowd versus like a Journey Pro crowd, it's a different kind of vibe. Um, I don't necessarily have any kind of preference. I think um, I think St. Louis, the crowds that I've been in front of in St. Louis, they tend to uh, I think be a little bit they want to be impressed a little bit more before they react. I think generally the fans in Kansas seem to be, you know, a little bit more responsive to like people they haven't seen before. But the St. Louis crowds that I've been in front of, uh, they want to see you actually like do something before they start reacting to you, which is totally fine, like, and that's one of the things I wish I had learned earlier. Like, the crowd will not be making noise the 100% of the time after you break curtain. But then again, like that's also the St. Louis Anarchy crowd I'm describing, and they see a lot of great wrestling. So it's going to take a lot to impress them. But now it's like, I feel like if I'm in a new place or a crowd that hasn't seen me, it's like, okay, well, give me 2.5 minutes or so, and I'm pretty sure I can have you guys on board with me. So I wouldn't say I have like a tremendous preference or anything like that. There's fun to be had, whether it's like a crowd that wants to see, the athleticism and high impact moves versus one that wants to be engaged, with more kind of character work. They're both fun and satisfying in different ways.
Absolutely. Cardinals talk. Appreciate you joining in. He said, "How about those Springfield crowds?"
Springfield crowds are awesome. I've only gotten the chance to wrestle there for Mid States Wrestling at the Relics Event Center. Most recently, an absolutely personal favorite match of mine against Colton Theron Vaught back on June 24th. That was my last defense of the Mid States Heavyweight Championship. That crowd is electric. They want to see fun character stuff. They want to see high impact fighting. They don't seem to have a lot that they won't get behind as long as it's done well. And they seem to have always treated me very receptively. So I love the Springfield crowd.
Fantastic.
So one of our last viewer questions, Dean Houston wants to know, what are your thoughts on intergender matches?
I'm certainly not like opposed to them. I think it really depends on the audience in the company that it's in, because like in front of like the more, I don't know, for lack of a better word, like, maybe hip, trendy places where intergender wrestling is more accepted and fans are more likely to get behind that. I think it's totally awesome. I think they want to see that. For like a more old school crowd, like I don't think intergender wrestling would necessarily go over as well in like a Harrison, Arkansas or Springfield, Missouri. It's just a different perception of what it is. There's a lot of tremendous workers, I mean, I was in a four-way with Shaza and Alley Catch, 2 Journey shows ago, and they're both great. So, yeah, I've got no personal opposition to it. I just really think it needs to be presented to an audience that is receptive to it for it to be effective.
Right.
So, Sonny wants everybody to know that you're not afraid to brainbuster a bitch.
Oh yeah.
Well.
I'd hope people tuning in would already know that about me, but I appreciate it, Sonny.
So Luke, where if somebody wants to buy some Luke Langley merchandise, where would they do so?
Sure. I mean, the best place to do it would be to just visit me at the merch table at any of these shows that we've described. I don't have like a formal storefront or anything like that set up, but you can hit me up on Twitter or on Facebook. Twitter and Instagram, it's at Luke Langley MD. And then I'm not hiding on Facebook. It's just search Luke Langley. You can find me.
Right.
Fantastic. So Luke, that pretty much does it for our, the interview and everything. The final question was going to be, where can everybody find you on social media? And
I jumped to it.
Yeah, you killed 2 birds with 1 stone. I like it. So, something we do after every interview we do, Luke, is we always ask our guest to say, this is Luke Langley, and you're watching the I-70 Hot Tag.
Okay, cool. I was wondering if I would get a chance to do it like I heard in the intro, like those other guys. So this is Luke Langley, and you're watching the I-70 Hot Tag like that?
Yep.
So, okay. This is Luke Langley, and you're watching the I-70 Hot Tag.
Awesome. Appreciate it, sir.
My pleasure, guys. Thanks so much.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you taking the time out, man. It was good stuff.
If you
we will
say
be
so.
seeing you next Saturday at Raytona Beach.
Absolutely. We're going to kill it.
Bye, buddy.
All right.
Take
Have
care.
a good night,
Thanks,
sir.
man. Peace.
Bye. All right. I don't like that. Happy as shit you guys got Luke on for an interview. We are happy as too, Sonny. Appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. Hell yes. Just as you guys know, after we do these interviews, we always go to break. But before we go to break, I want to tell you guys, Sonny Money Mio. I hope I'm saying that right, Sonny. But you guys are killing it over there at Wrestle Talk. Definitely, if you guys don't listen to Wrestle Talk, go check them out. They're doing awesome shit over there. Yeah, as I've said before, in my personal opinion, he's the best KC. He's the best in KC right now. Mayo, nice. So not Mio, it's Mayo. Sonny Money Mayo. Okay. The Smoking Ace is absolutely amazing. My wife started calling me that after his match, mostly because I'm a smoker still. See, Cardinals talk. If you'd have left that last part out, I'd have been like, "Dude, you're a badass." My wife has never called me the Smoking Ace.
Right. So,
all right, guys. So, like I said, after the interview, we always like to take 5, go get us a drink, whatever, and then we're going to come back. We still got a fantastic show lined up for you guys after we get back from break. We're going to be talking about. We've got huge announcements coming. We've also, we're going to break down New Breed Wrestling from July 16th. Yes, Jess, you did miss the interview, but I appreciate you watching it on the video on demand. Appreciate you coming in, Jess. Much love as always. But we're gonna be talking about New Breed Wrestling. We're also gonna be talking Horseman Country.
Yes, we are.
Brought to you by your favorite I feel bad saying
It's
brought
on
to you.
here.
Yeah.
Your favorite Kansas and Missouri professional wrestling podcast.
Yeah.
We got
One of-
guys, two huge announcements we're gonna make right after the break. You definitely don't want to miss them, so stick around. We'll make them right after.
Yep. So with that being said, guys, do not go anywhere. Leave the stream on, go get a drink, come back. We've still got a fantastic show lined up for you. With that being said, we shall return.
Kansas City has a new name in the pizza game. You Want a Pizza Me is Kansas City's only pro wrestling themed pizza food truck. Located across from the Black Box Theater in the West Bottoms, You Want a Pizza Me is dedicated to serving delicious flame-grilled pizzas named in homage to pro wrestling. Come try the High Flyer, El Luchador, Greener Than Grass, and their newest bestseller, The Undertaker. Regular and vegan options are available. They're also dedicated to getting you to eat your healthy vegetables with their selection of salads. Look for the big man in the luchador mask. Follow them at You Want a Pizza Me KC on social media. Kansas City is a top pro wrestling city, and You Want a Pizza Me is your spot for knockout, top of the card pizza. Come get some.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second half of the I-70 Hot Tag. If you are still with us, we greatly appreciate that. If you are just joining us, you missed our fantastic interview with Luke Langley. But just like my friend Jess did, she's going to watch it on the VOD. And you say, hey, Chase, where can I find the VOD? VOD stands for Video on Demand, just in case you guys were curious. And you can find the I-70 Hot Tag episodes on Twitch Video on Demand. You can also find it on CR Media's past live streams on YouTube. You can also find it on the I-70 Hot Tag past live streams on YouTube. So, yes, if you guys aren't following either CR Media or the I-70 Hot Tag on YouTube, definitely go do so.
Absolutely.
Joe, what's up, fellas? What is up, Joe? Appreciate you joining in, sir. But like I said, we had a fantastic time sitting down with Luke Langley. Luke gave us a little bit of a little bit of spunk as well, because he he talked about his upcoming feud in Journey Pro Wrestling with the Howlets. So lots of fun there. We got something to go over, don't we, buddy?
I'm itching to announce it, but
Well,
so go ahead and yeah, man, we got a big show next week, which is going to be Gary J is going to join us next week. We'll touch base on that later in the show.
Gary F and J.
Gary,
Gary
F and J. But
hey, so I know where we're at on the lineup, buddy. Why don't we skip that and go to the next announcement, and then you see what I'm saying?
That's cool. Yeah.
So, guys, again, appreciate everybody who's been in here. Everybody who continues to come and watch every week. Everybody who downloads the podcast. I can't thank you guys enough. My friend Jess, who I just mentioned, along with my friend Raz Scott, they don't live anywhere near Kansas or Missouri. One of them lives in Australia. The other one lives somewhere on the West Coast. Like, these people aren't invested, or I mean, these people had no reason to be invested into Kansas and Missouri professional wrestling like they are. But we appreciate every single person, not just them, but every single person who tunes in and shows love and helps us, kind of grow. The Twitch thing, like we talked about, the podcast, all that stuff. And I could give so much praise to you guys all night long. But the idea of this podcast or show, I hate calling it a podcast because we're on demand.
We're live,
so,
right?
Yeah, we're live. So, the idea of it is to put over as much of the talent in the Kansas and Missouri area as we can, because those guys, are out busting their ass for, doing hard work for not a whole lot of money. So we want these small companies, these local companies, and these local wrestlers, these local athletes to get as much time as possible. So with that being said, Josh and I have tried to keep these episodes at the 2-hour mark every week.
Sometimes more, but yeah, 2 hours is your goal.
So the I-70 Hot Tag has learned that there is a lot of professional wrestling. Josh does have to get rid of that horrendous Jags helmet.
Which one? I got two of them.
They tell them they both suck. I feel bad for the tag team title. Have to be surrounded with all that garbage. Anyways, damn it, somebody got me off of my big speech. Anyways, so I'm hoping to get into Kansas and KC are in the next year. Okay, fantastic. So like I said, with the I-70 hot tag, and we've learned so much wrestling that's in the area, guys. We have decided to go ahead and introduce a sister show, almost.
Yep.
We're gonna call it the I-70 hot tag presents the pit stop. We figured that kind of fits the thing.
Yep.
And it's gonna be a like a it's not gonna be a live show. We're gonna do interviews. We're gonna save those interviews for sometimes the talent can't be live on Thursday nights, so we can record it and post it up for you guys on the YouTube or on the stuff. There's we've got a couple guests lined up already. We've got a little bit of stuff in the works, but Josh and I will iron out the details, and we will have info for you. All of the stuff. So definitely stay tuned to CR Media and the I-70 hot tag. Josh, you've got some. You got anything you wanted to add to that, or?
Yeah, we can. We've already got the pit stop. We've discussed this for a few weeks, and it's going. We're going to do our first official show starting next week, and we have already booked our first guest, and it's going to start the promotion probably tomorrow to promote it. But I will share right now the graphic for our first guest on the I-70 hot tag pit stop. And we will be sitting down with New Breed Wrestling television champion Slammer, which will be released on Tuesday, July 26th. So I know we've got some New Breed Wrestling fans in here. Dean is in here. He's a big New Breed fan. Talks about them every show we have. So if you guys are unfamiliar with New Breed, they run in Central Missouri. They run in Warsaw. They were in Versailles, Missouri a couple weeks ago. So we're extremely excited to have Slammer on and discuss, what he's got going on. I know he's wrestling also in Cape Championship Wrestling in the end of July, I believe, for their anniversary show, which he'll actually be in the same match as Ryan the Infinite. So
Absolutely.
We'll chat about that. And again, we are planning on releasing this Tuesday, July 26th. What I also wanted to say was this show is not going to be a weekly episodic show like the I-70 hot tag is. We're going to record it as we come across talent who we want, who can come on and interview. Could be weekly, could be bi-weekly. So I just wanted you guys to be aware of that it's not most likely not going to be an every week episodic show. So
Absolutely. We'll be announcing on the I-70 hot tag when we have a show coming up on the pit stop. But like I said, that's huge news for us guys. Like I said, we've discovered all these promotions that are within Kansas and Missouri. So a couple hours a week isn't going to have to suffice for us to get through and interview these guys, introduce them out to fans that don't know them. Try to introduce them out to more promotions. That obviously that's the idea of this show. So looks like it's really, 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 really well perceived. Holy moly!
easy for you to say.
Yeah, Dean, Dean Houston says go Slammer. Joe said I just traveled up to Warsaw, watched Slammer at New Breed. Sonny says, I watched him kick the shit out of Luke Langley. He could hang with the power of Slammer Mania Jack. Cardinals Talk knows who it is. They just did a show in Nixa. So Raz, appreciate you showing love. Slammer Mania is going to be our first guest on the pit stop. So definitely be checking that out, guys. All right. Our fourth.
August 4th.
August 4th. Can you rap the theme to the new show? Sonny, why don't you why don't you slide into the DMs and we'll work something out. But anyways, huge announcement, guys. Appreciate you guys staying tuned. Like I said, don't go anywhere. We've got plenty of stuff to talk about. But our huge announcement is August 4th. We already have a very, very special guest that's going to be on the I-70 hot tag. As you guys know, and if you don't know, you better call somebody, because CSW, Central States Wrestling, has an event coming up on Saturday, August 27th, called Horseman Country. That's going to feature Arn Anderson in the main event, managing his son Brock Anderson, who's teaming with Ace Steel, and they are going to be facing Jeremy Wyatt and Vic Capri. If you don't know, you should know. The I-70 Hot Tag is the official podcast sponsor of Horseman Country. So with that, we're trying to promote Horseman Country, and we're trying to get a bunch of stuff going for it. So Josh, why don't you tell them what we got going on August 4th?
August 4th, we have very excited. One of our biggest guests that we're going to have on the show. Going to share the screen again. Without further ado, August 4th, make sure you guys tune in, because we will be sitting down with none other than Brock Anderson himself. AEW Brock Anderson coming to Kansas City August 27th, teaming with Ace Steel. We're going to chat about his match, talk about what he's got planned for the Monarch and Vic Capri. Extremely excited for this. This is going to be a great show, guys.
Yes, very, very excited, guys. So August 4th, do not forget to tune into the I-70 Hot Tag. Like I said, we're going to have Brock Anderson on here. We're going to be sitting down, chit-chatting, shooting the shit, asking him about Horseman Country. So get excited. The other thing I will tell you is, if you have not bought tickets to Horseman Country yet, what are you doing? Because eventually there's going to come a point where the Camelot Ballroom is going to lock the door and say, hey, we're at max capacity, and you guys are going to be outside. Yep. And, it's hot in the beginning of the week of August. So I'd hate to see you guys left outside. Get your tickets, buy them online. Do not buy them at the door. Get them in line, or get them online. Get them now. csw.simpletix.com. We have the links all over our social medias, so definitely go hit that up. Living in Australia. Hey, I hear plane tickets are pretty cheap nowadays, Scott. So you got plenty of time. But other than that, man, Brock Anderson, on the I-70 Hot Tag.
Yep. The next 2 weeks, man, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be good 2 shows, including the one with Slammer on the pit stop. So a lot of good stuff coming to the I-70. So it's gonna be fun stuff.
So speaking of Slammer, let's talk about this New Breed Wrestling.
Yeah.
From July 16th in Warsaw, Missouri. A big shout out to New Breed Facebook page for posting these results. I will never ever tell you guys not to go to a wrestling event, but as a consumer myself, and Josh being a consumer, we know how hard it is to kind of keep up with all this stuff, and buying tickets and going. It's impossible to go to all of them, right?
Yep.
So it's a humongous service to us and to you, everybody watching. When we have the results to these things, so we can tell you guys, get you guys excited about this. So, next month you might go, hey, maybe a trip to Warsaw from Kansas City, or maybe a trip from Warsaw to St. Joe or St. Louis, wherever is worth it. Because they're putting on killer shows. So I made my way to a New Breed show a few months back. They do a great job. Fantastic. So Josh, you wanna kick this off?
Absolutely. So our guest, Slammer Maniacs, the mathematician gave all that he had, but Slammer and all of his Slammer Maniacs was too much, as Slammer got the 1, 2, 3 and walked out still the reigning defending New Breed Wrestling television champion. So Slammer is still the champ.
You think somewhere in Doctor Strange's 14 million and one different universes, do you think Slammermania and Stitchamania are fighting to the death right now?
100%.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Wouldn't be much fighting on one end of that fight today. We can imagine, right?
I lost a ladder match to Stitchamania, so
Hey,
that's kind of insulting.
a little bit.
I'm sorry. Let's get back on track, because I think Josh and I are probably the only two people in this stream right now that know who Stitchamania is. So
Right. So let's go to the next match. What you got, Chase?
Now take a walk on the wild side as volatile Curtis Wild, pro wrestler with wildfire bested Marvelous Marte in a grueling singles match. You think speaking of Doctor Strange's 14 million different universes, you think we could ever get volatile Curtis Wild to face off against the metalhead Dallas Cade? Sorry,
hair metal heartthrob Dallas.
Hair metal heartthrob. Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I almost called Dallas. I almost used Sledge's nickname for Dallas Cade, the metalhead maniac, Dallas Cade, and then I was like, wait a second, no, that's not right.
Yeah, guys. So here's a big one here. I know Dean, if Dean's still in here. Dirty Deeds, Daniel Maxon, and the New Breed Wrestling Women's Champion Shylin went to a draw when Money Mike Pettis and his client had a little misunderstanding, and Money Mike entered the ring to get into the face of Maxon. So match ended in a draw. So I'm super excited. Dean has kind of have mentioned Shylin multiple times over the last few weeks. I have not personally seen her in person wrestle, but we definitely are going to check out New Breed. I know she's wrestling in XWE, I believe. I saw a graphic where she's going to be wrestling there coming up in a couple weeks. So that's in Kansas. I'm not sure the city at the moment, but Salina maybe. But she's wrestling there. So I'm excited to see her at some point in the very near future. But she's doing good work in New Breed.
Is that Selena or Salina?
Salina. Hopefully. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. I don't know.
The next match, we had astonishing Austin Malatalo and the smoking ace Luke Langley put on a clinic, 20 minutes of nonstop action, with Luke Langley coming out on top of the newcomer. So, we were talking about Luke about that in our interview earlier.
Yep.
So
Luke praised Austin, had a lot of good things to say about him. So excited to see him wrestle too at some point. But yep, 20 minutes. That's a damn good match there for New Breed.
Absolutely.
So
good for them.
The New Breed tag team champions, the Iceman and Hard Luck Hal Rogers, retained against Frodo the Ghost, FTG, and Burt Candy. So
Cardinals Talk says astonishing Austin stole a show down here in Nixa. Absolutely an insanely talented wrestler. I love to hear that. So definitely be keeping an eye out for Austin to be making his rounds in Missouri and Kansas. So she's also wrestling in KCXW, top of Texas APW. Nice. I'm a proud Iceman Icicle.
I like it.
Frodo the Ghost.
Yep.
I love it. I fucking love professional wrestling for many different reasons, but that is one of the huge ones. So, in the main event of the night, you had New Breed Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, the Doctor of Hypothetical Medicine, Doctor Eisen, defended his heavyweight title against the mysterious El Diablo. Dr. Eisen came away with the victory once again. So,
there you have it.
Yeah,
New Breed Wrestling.
Definitely.
That's in Warsaw, man. Like we go to, my parents have a lake house in at the Ozarks. We drive right through Warsaw every single time we go down there. So July 16th was what, a Saturday? Yep. So a lake trip down to the lake on a weekend. New Breed's having an event in Warsaw. I think that's I think it's going to happen sometime.
Now, now with the I-70 Hot Tag being an affiliate program of CR Media 1988, or just CR Media, sorry. Since CR Media is the parent company of the I-70 Hot Tag, I'm going to tag along that lake house, right?
No, I'll tag you to Warsaw, and then I'll just leave you there. Absolutely, yes. We're gonna make an I-70 Hot Tag in Climax Springs, Missouri, which is where our lake house is at. So
nice.
Anything.
I'm down to go hang out anywhere called Climax Springs. So
it's only about 50 miles away from Tightwad, population 69. Hands down, the best match of the night, Langley and Alex. I was on the card at MSW in West Plains. Alex took on Niles Planquet. All right. And a great match. Love Niles Planquet. Really hope we can get him on the show at some point. Been a fan of his dating back to pre-NWL days. So El Diablo helped that crowd hot every time. Nice. So, I wanted to, but we're going to kind of run down quickly the card of Horseman Country before we wrap this thing up. But I do wanted to say, for those of you who are Journey Pro fans, I'm not going to get into details just because if you didn't tune in for it, you didn't see it, I'll let you contact him if you want to. But Journey Pro, Journey to Anarchy went live today at 7 p.m. Walter Fulbright was hosting probably a 15-20 minute session. Just wanted to throw this out there. He will no longer be in a position of power. I guess in Journey Pro, he's going to kind of take a step backwards for personal reasons. Again, not my place to say why or what's going on. If you want to reach out to him, fine, so be it. He did go live at 7 p.m. tonight on their Twitch stream. May or may not still be up there. I don't know. But Chris and I'm not sure the other guy's name, they're going to run the day-to-day Journey Pro booking from here going forward. Raytona Beach is going to be Walter's kind of last event. And DJ Stewart is going to focus on the Kansas City Wrestling Academy, which we talked a lot with Hoodie Howlett last week, which is starting up in 2 days, the 23rd. So on their first tryout. So DJ is going to be focusing on that. Walter's taking a step back, and Chris Hartswell. Yep, that's it. So Chris and Hartswell are going to run Journey Pro, the wrestling side of it. DJ's focusing on the wrestling school, and then Walter's taking a step back for the time being. So, to make that announcement.
So, so for those that don't know, I work. I work from home till about 8 o'clock. So from 8 to 8:30, I'm preparing for the show. So I had no idea about this. And like Josh said, it's not our place. The only thing I will say is hopefully everything is okay with Walter, and
Yep.
hopefully he's not gone too long. So
Yep. Yeah, Walter's a great guy.
huge,
If you guys have never
huge.
met him, he will be at Raytona Beach. He did say, "Come up, say hi to him." So if you guys have not got your tickets in Kansas City, go get them. Journey Pro puts on great events, and he will be there. So
Yep.
Go up and say hi to him.
Yep. Like I said, got a feeling Jeremy White's days are numbered. He's gonna get his ass whooped by the Howlets. I can say that openly now that Luke Langley's gone. I don't have to worry about Luke whipping. I don't have to worry about Luke whipping my ass. You see him kind of perk up when I told him. I was like, why would you align yourself with Jeremy White?
Yep.
He was like,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
let me tell you something, buddy. I was like, uh-oh. I was like, my bad.
Oh my God.
So with that being said, obviously Horseman Country is a lot of the talk nowadays, for obvious reasons. Here on the I-70 hot tag, because the I-70 hot tag is the official podcast sponsor of Horseman Country. So again, we want to let you guys know what kind of a show they're putting on, and then where you can buy your tickets again before we kind of wrap this thing up. So, Josh, we going from the bottom up, obviously.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll main event last.
Okay, fantastic. Sonny knows absolutely the biggest card in KC in the past year. I'm damn sure comfortable with that. Starting off, we've got the extremely entertaining and talented Luigi Primo, the best pizza maker, the best pizza chef.
Best pizza chef.
Okay, I didn't want there to be a dispute between the two of us again. Facing off to get his revenge on the Niles Planquet, the wine connoisseur of professional wrestling. Luigi and Niles have a little bit of a history. And like Luigi said here on the I-70 hot tag, that if he plans on advancing, getting any further in Central States Wrestling, he needs to get Niles Planquet out of his way. So this is we're going to see them go head to head, and would love to see Belvedere barred from ringside.
100%.
So, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Or maybe Luigi comes out with backup to make sure that Belvedere doesn't interfere.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I like it.
Josh, what's our next match?
So we're gonna see the big strong boy Ethan Price, who was involved in that Luigi Primo match back at CSW Strapped with Dan the Dad. He got the win thanks to Niles Planquet, but he is coming back to Central States and he is taking on the Quad Father Camaro Jackson. This is going to be an extremely fun match. Love everything that Camaro Jackson does. And I'm honestly becoming a fan. We've seen Ethan Price in a few different companies across Missouri and Kansas. Becoming a fan of his as well. So this should be a pretty entertaining match as well.
That's right. We'll have a fresh hot cheese pizza from Chuck E. Cheese for the big strong boy, if he can pull this off. But I don't think that's going to happen. I feel bad for Ethan Price. I think this is a terribly uneven matchup. I think Camaro Jackson is going to stomp the shit out of Ethan Price. So the next match, we saw the Beer City Bruiser last month at Rise of an Outlaw. He was super entertaining. The crowd loved him, especially my 10-year-old son. Beer City Bruiser does this thing where every single time he punches a guy, the crowd goes beer. So my 10-year-old son is sitting there going beer, beer, beer every single time he hits somebody. So Definitely excited to see Beer City Bruiser in Kansas City again. He's going to be facing Arjun Singh, who we have seen a couple times at CSW. So definitely excited for that match.
Absolutely. So we've got one of the best storylines in independent wrestling today. Our first experience with DWF CSW was at No Turning Back, and absolutely, Sonny, I 100% agree. Arjun Singh, saw him at No Turning Back as well. He faced Luigi Primo. But one of the best storylines in independent wrestling today is happening between two tag teams who are phenomenal in their own right. The premier SK Bishop, SK Bishop and Campbell Myers. Cut that, send it to them.
Yeah.
And the Howlets. And at No Turning Back, we saw the street fight. They spilled out into the crowd. It got
Bled
bloody
everywhere.
There was thumbtacks. There was chairs. Every weapon imaginable. It was an extremely brutal encounter. Fast forward a month, you got Strapped, where the Howlets faced off against the
Grindhouse.
Yes, Grindhouse in that first match, opening match, and then the Premier were a special guest. Where
Premier wound up having a surprise matchup
against Dallas Cade and Ryan the
Infinite.
Yep. So, which then the Howlets came in, they battled, and yes, absolutely, yeah, yes, South Philly ECW, yeah. So they battled at that match, Hoodie Howlett put his hands on a referee. He was banned for the next for Rise of an Outlaw.
It wasn't a referee. It was a CSW official. It was good for it was good friend of the I-70 hot tag, Tristan.
You're right. My bad. Misspoke.
Yeah, Cole clocked our friend Tristan right there. I couldn't believe it, man.
He's so he got suspended. Anaya was there, and so this is a 2 singles matches between the two teams. Anaya Howlett is taking on SK Bishop, and Hoodie Howlett is taking on Campbell Myers. So should be 2 hell of a singles matches between the two.
Absolutely, and be looking on social media in the next couple of days. We're going to be putting out a bunch of clips of the Hoodie Howlett interview we did last week. Hoodie did not mince words. He was very colorful with his language on what he plans on doing to Campbell Myers on Saturday, August 27th. So, and them boys got it coming. They got it coming. It's time. So, where do we go after this? I mean, we saw the street fight in blood. Do you think we could put a cage up in the Camelot Ballroom?
I mean, we saw a ladder match in Glory Pro where the roof was not much taller than the ladder. So I think we may have to take a couple chandeliers down, but I think we can get a steel cage in the Camelot Ballroom.
Well, I say we hit up Michael Strider and say, let's after Horseman Country. I mean, what's left for these two teams? It's got to be a cage. It's got to be.
Yeah. It's got to be a blow off. Yep.
Yeah. We'll go buy a bunch of those. Dog fences at Lowe's and put them around the ring, so it looks like a cage.
There you go.
I just hope that Walrus Roscoe Leach isn't waddling around ringside with that bad mustache dye job. Yeah, he needs a new shirt. His shirt bugs the dog shit out of me. I know he's probably selling used cars to somebody's grandma. So yeah. Next match we talked about earlier on the show. Guest Luke Langley going to be taking on Mike Outlaw. Mike Outlaw is a huge favorite of mine. So love me some Mike Outlaw from the Metro Pro NWL days, St. Louis Wrestling. Mike Outlaw. But huge fan of I-70 hot tag guest Luke Langley. So
Yeah.
Luke is extremely talented. That's going to be a damn good match. Mike Outlaw had a fantastic match with Jeremy Wyatt at the last event. Was very heartbroken that Mike Outlaw was lost that match, but I got faith that Mike Outlaw will rebound, and Luke Langley, Brainbuster, 1-2-3. Cardinals talk. Appreciate you following the Twitch stream, brother. Definitely appreciate that. Luke Langley, Brainbuster, 1-2-3. You think so? I can see it.
Interesting. I can too, man. I can too. I can't predict that match at all. It's gonna be good. I can't wait to see it.
Talk about this next match, Josh.
Man, this is a big one.
Did I really read that right? I mean,
First,
I'm not gonna fact check our guys, but you're telling me that Moonshine and Dak have never been across the ring from each other?
never faced off.
Dude.
For as many times as they've wrestled in the same promotion in Central States, Journey Pro, NWL, when it was Dak Draper and he was known as Maverick. Moonshine was known as Maverick in NWL. They had never faced off in NWL. First time ever, guys. Two behemoths, Clash of the Titans, Dak Draper versus Moonshine Mantell with Greg Jovi. Second guest on the I-70 hot tag, Greg Jovi. He'll be there as well. But
dare I say, there's going to be two big meaty men slapping meat.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Should be great. I couldn't. I like when I saw that on the graphic. I saw first time ever. I thought, no way. And then I went and looked. I went and looked Metro Pro. I went and looked NWL. I went and looked. I was like, and I saw it, and I was like, there's no way that even when Moonshine was Maverick in NWL that they never faced off. Man,
yeah, it's crazy.
That's dude, like that puts like an aura around this match that wasn't there before. Like, because now that I know, like, this is the legit first time that these two guys have faced off, this is huge. This is probably one of the biggest matches on the card, and I feel asinine saying that because I'm getting ready to announce this next match.
Right.
And it's this card is stacked. So Sonny says Moonshine is going to duck that boot from Dak, hit that nasty spine buster. 1-2-3 winner Moonshine. Come on, Sonny. Fuck out of here. Come on, Sonny. Moonshine beating Dak. The Dak attack. Anyways,
the one thing in Moonshine's corner is he does have that weasel, Greg Jovi, in his corner to help him. So
yeah,
you never know.
The main event, the creme de la creme, I was trying to think of some really cool names for, the finale, the big one,
the main event.
Shut up, bitch. Anyways, we have Jeremy Wyatt and 5'3" Vic Capri. Sorry, I had to. My son loves that. I had to argue with Dimitri. Dimitri's like, I'm gonna yell that the entire time when we go to Horseman Country, and I go, no, you're only going to yell it when Vic Capri is in the ring. And he goes, nope, I'm gonna yell it the entire time, so everybody knows. And I was like, Dimitri, no, you're not. Anyways, Jeremy Wyatt, Vic Capri against Ace Steel, the one of the original Second City Saints, and his partner, second generation superstar, AEW wrestler Brock Anderson in the main event. Obviously everybody in here, I would assume Vic Capri got legit pissed at me yelling at him at one of the last shows. I can see that. Vic doesn't look like a very happy guy. He doesn't look like he smiles a lot. He looks like he eats his vegetables and eats a lot of meat, and that's about it. Vic is cut, dude. Like when I very first saw Vic Capri, I was like, dude, he's a killer. Yeah. So, just a quick history lesson. Like I said, I assume everybody in here kind of already has a general idea, but we want to go down this real quick. Jeremy Wyatt put down Mike Outlaw in their no time limit match last time at Rise of an Outlaw. They opened the show. Afterwards, Jeremy Wyatt was discussing with everybody how there's nobody left. He's beaten everybody. But he was going to go ahead and leave an open challenge for anybody to come in because he felt generous and wanted to wrestle 2 times in one night. And through the crowd wearing an All Elite Wrestling hoodie came Vic Capri, former stablemate of Jeremy Wyatt, and said that he was going to answer the challenge.
I believe you meant Ace Steel.
Ace Steel.
Yeah.
Did I say Jeremy Wyatt again?
No, you said Vic Capri.
Oh. My bad.
We're good.
Ace Steel came through the crowd wearing an All Elite Wrestling hoodie. Got in. Him and Jeremy Wyatt, former stablemates. They wrestled that night. Looked like it was going to be a good match between the two. Ace Steel should have won the championship. But Vic Capri comes down and gets involved, and Dak Draper came out for the save. But when Ace Steel made the call, he made the call to a buddy of his, in that of legend Arn Anderson and Brock Anderson, and Arn Anderson and Brock Anderson said, "We'll be there." So yeah, that's how we got this. So. Horseman Country, CSW. Josh, why don't you tell the people where they can buy their tickets for CSW Horseman Country?
If you have not already, what are you doing? But if you have not already, CSWtickets.com will direct you to their Simple Tix website to get your tickets. They're also giving away a is it an NWA or AWA?
It's an NWA Television Championship.
NWA Television Championship. There's
packages beautiful
to get entered into that drawing. So check out all the packages they got that they can to buy your tickets. So, have you ever heard of the Marksman?
I'm laughing. I'm so hyped for Horseman Country. I'm going to spine buster my kid in the parking lot. I love it.
I'm not sure that we've seen the Marksman. Have you, Chase?
I have in KCXW. Yes, I have seen the Marksman. Would definitely love to have them on, or whichever. But Josh, did you tell everybody where to get their tickets?
CSWtickets.com.
That's right. Go to CSWtickets.com to get your tickets to Horseman Country. Sponsored by the I-70 Hot Tag, the official podcast sponsor of Horseman Country. Other than that, Josh, we got some events. If you guys didn't see in the video, on July 24th, Glory Pro presents STL Vice. Ethan Page is going to be at that, facing off against Warhorse. We're also going to get Mike Bennett against the Quad Father, Camaro Jackson. I'm very excited for that match. I am a huge Mike Bennett fan. I have been for years. July 30th, the July 30th, Journey Pro presents Raytona Beach Bash with the Journey title match, Christian Rose versus Masa Slemovich.
Asha Slamovich.
XWE July 30th in Leavenworth. Yes.
Yep.
Everybody decided to do their events on July 30th.
Yeah, we've got 4 events happening on the same night.
Yeah. CCW Cape Championship Wrestling presents Anniversary. Marco Stunt, Jake Something, and Cheeseburger are all going to be in action on that event.
I did not update that, but Jake Something will not be at that event.
Thanks.
I believe he is in Japan, is what they said. So
thanks. You could have gave me a heads up instead of making me look like an asshole.
I didn't update the my bad.
That's all right.
But yeah, he will be there.
Mid-States has a show this Saturday in Harrison, Arkansas. I like it. Trailblazer Championship Wrestling, July 30th in Olathe. Sonny,
Yep.
do you got our rundown, man? Did you?
Yeah, you're just naming them all off.
Yeah, I know, man. I was like, man, how does Sonny know what I'm gonna say before I say it? I'm just messing with. Yes, Trailblazer Championship Wrestling in Olathe, Kansas. It's their inaugural event. So that's exciting. Definitely. You'll be ring announcing for XWE July 30th. I like it. There you go. With that being said, guys, one of the things I wanted to do here, we're real big on local, real big on independent professional wrestling, obviously, all that stuff. If you're in the Kansas or Missouri area or whatever area you're in, and you're asking yourself, like, man, like I really would love to see XYZ company, excel. I want to see them prosper. What can I do to help? Go ask. When you get in the buildings, go ask the bookers, go ask the state or like the ring crew, like, hey, like, what can I do to help? Putting away chairs, stuff like that. There's always stuff you can do to help these guys. Tell your friends about it. Talk about it on social media. We have a fantastic tool with social media to be able to get these messages out to a lot of people. Hence what we do here. So definitely, I would highly recommend going to your local promotion and just saying, hey, what can I do to help in any way, shape, or form? So that is it on the July ones. We will.
And guys, just to kind of follow up what Chase said too, like if you're in the Missouri, Kansas area, I know some of you aren't listening, Raz, but Kansas and Missouri, like we have a ton of independent wrestling across both states. And even into Illinois with St. Louis Anarchy, we don't go too deep past where Anarchy runs just because of the distance. But there's stuff in southern Missouri and Springfield. There's Kansas City. There's St. Louis. There's Middle and Warsaw. I mean, you've got tri-states that comes down into the northern part of Missouri and Kansas. XWE in Leavenworth. UUCW, I think, in Wichita. So there is just stuff all over that you can go to that shouldn't be too terribly long of a drive. So yeah, just go out, check one of them out. I can guarantee you, if you're a wrestling fan, you're going to love it because all these companies put on great shows. SICW.
Yeah, not only helping out, but also being respectful. That goes a long way as well. Absolutely.
Yep.
Because this is cool, guys. I mean, there's not just one or two ships in town that you can go watch. You can, I mean, Josh just named off like 8.
Yeah. And that wasn't even close to all of them.
Yeah, that's not even close to all of them. So, it's very exciting to be a professional wrestling fan. But we, like I said, I just want to reiterate to you guys that, while Josh and I are having fun, doing this show, this is a hobby of ours. This isn't our job. This is something we do with our own time. We want to remind you guys that the reason why we do this is to put those guys over, and make sure that make sure that wrestling stays in this prosperous form that it's in right now. So, Josh, you want to talk about next week's guest?
Absolutely, man. We've booked this guy.
I'm pretty fucking excited. So,
dude, yeah, fucking excited for Gary fucking J.
That's right.
Stopping by the I-70 hot tag. Extremely excited. He's the current Gateway Heritage Heavyweight Champion. He did pretty well in the Dingo Invitational. Beat Jeremy Wyatt in round 1. Knocked him out. You don't beat Jeremy Wyatt very often. He did it in round 1 of the Dingo.
And did it twice this year. Twice. He's beat Jeremy Wyatt twice this year. So
so he's got Wyatt's number. So hell of a, and man, if you guys, I think I showed it the night we reviewed it. But he slapped the living shit out of the and I am drawing a blank of the guy's name at God, I can't, I'm kicking myself. We'll get it. But he had a handprint on his back that looked like it branded him. I'm sure that handprint took a week to go away. But extremely excited. I mean, if you guys also watching this, if you have not gone to his YouTube page and watched that hour-long documentary, go check that out. Gary J, Professional Wrestling Saved My Life. It's fantastic. Put together very well, and we're going to definitely talk about that during the interview next week. So,
absolutely. Other than that,
that's about it, man.
Social medias, guys. Appreciate you hanging in. Appreciate you hanging out, guys. We're going to do something. If you are watching on Twitch, Twitch has this feature called Raid, where I pick somebody on Twitch that we just send you to. We're going to do that after we sign off. But before we sign off, wanted to let you guys know, for those guys, for everybody watching on one form of social media, if you guys could do us a humongous favor, Josh and I both, go to all forms of social media, find CR Media 1988, give me a follow, hit that notification bell, subscribe, whatever the lingo is for that social media that you're using. Do the exact same thing for the I-70 hot tag, guys. The more people we're out talking to, or the more people to see us, the more people we can interview, the more wrestlers we can put out there for everybody to see, for you guys to get to know those guys, and we can definitely, put more eyes on Kansas and Missouri professional wrestling. And as the I-70 tag grows, we won't stop at conquering Kansas and Missouri.
Nope.
So.
Yeah, I-70 goes a long way.
It does. Dean, appreciate that, sir. Appreciate you coming out and hanging out. Sonny says, when I grow up, I hope I'm half as tough as Gary J is. Yeah, absolutely. Guys, as usual, good fight. Good night.